Would you like to tell me who you are and what you do?
My name is Richard Essien, also known as Magical Bones. I am a professional magician um, that sprinkles some dancing in his magic breakdancing, to be more specific.
Yeah. So that's actually something I wanted to ask. How do you mix those two things together? Because I feel like they're quite different. How do you bring those together into one performance almost?
Um, Sort of a bit more of uh, an answer that I need to open up a little bit. Well, basically, my background is I used to be a hip hop dancer, a b-boy or break dancers, people like to call it. That was before I was a professional magician, and when I perform magic, I create these like pieces that tell stories about myself or showcase things that about my history, and that's where the breakdancing comes in, because I always try and incorporate my skills or my experiences as a breakdancer in the pieces of magic I perform.
Yeah.
Hence why I call myself a breakdancing magician.
Yeah, cool. So going into your backstory a bit more, how did you get into music and not music, sorry, magic and breakdancing?
Well, magic was interesting because I started magic at a very young age. I started magic um, when I was 10. My mum bought me a magic set. It was a Paul Daniels magic set. He was a famous magician from the UK, passed away, I think about 6 or 7 years ago. But he was a very famous magician who's always on telly and BBC. He was on BBC for about, I think, maybe 20 years, maybe longer than that. Everyone had a little Paul Daniels magic kit when
Yeah.
they were younger, and I had one, and then I went practiced the magic tricks. I went to school, tried some tricks on my friends as well, and fortunately, my drama teacher, David Weeks, his name was,
Hmm.
he was a professional magician, um, and he always used to magic in school. And when he found out people in school like magic, he encouraged them to pursue it as a serious hobby. And he's the one that got me into magic, taking it more seriously, and I became a serious hobbyist. And most magicians, most magicians up in the before, like, say 2000 and I don't know 2011, I'd say most magicians were amateur magicians. In fact, I still think most magicians are amateur, just
Yeah.
hobbyists. There's not many magicians, It's not like becoming a doctor or a lawyer. It's still a niche kind of job. So anyway, that sort of explains where magic comes from. It was a serious hobbyist, and in terms of dance, that's where my career took off. I started young. I started like everybody's, in their living room dancing to Michael Jackson or something like that. I used to dance in the living room.
Yeah.
But anyway, fast forward, I started performing as a street dancer on the South Bank, just by the London Eye, and then I got to do music videos. I got to dance with some celebrities, do adverts, concerts, and tour the world as a magician. And that was fun. Sorry, as a dancer. Sorry. And then, because I was also working on the streets, I started incorporating the magic I learned as a kid into street shows and stuff, and it just evolved from there. And that's how the two sort of merged together.
What are you doing nowadays with your magic and your dancing?
Mainly, I'm mainly a magician.
Yeah.
I don't do much dancing. In fact, I don't only dance in the context of my magic shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I tour around the country, doing different types of stage shows, illusion shows, and I also perform on cruise ships and get to tour around the world, doing that. I also do TV shows. Recently, I did a show called Britain's Got Talent, The Ultimate Magician, which came out on Christmas, where I was second place winner, which was fantastic. And so mainly just mix up between theatre, where I tour around the country, do some stuff on cruise ships where I get to travel around the world, and do some TV opportunities or corporate gigs.
So what's
your birthday party if you want?
There you go. So what was your experience on Britain's Got Talent? Did you enjoy it? Was it hard? Was there a lot of pressure? How was it?
It was good. It was definitely a lot of pressure in the but good pressure.
Yeah.
In the sense that, like, you're being given this opportunity to showcase your talent to millions of people all over the world, and in the UK. So there is a pressure in terms of, like, you don't want to mess up. There's also that excitement about it as well, where you think to yourself, this could be life-changing. So I sort of had nervous excitement and moved with that.
Yeah. Were there any particularly, like, memorable moments or memorable people you met while doing the show or anything like that?
I mean, you meet Simon Cowell, who's the figurehead for the show. And you meet so many amazing people. I met quite a lot of amazing people actually doing that. I met, Alicia Dixon, David Williams, all the judges, of course, Amanda Holden, but also many contestants, really crazy types of acts, performers, and other types of magicians, singers. So I met a comedian who did really well on the show called Nabil, the comedian. He was quite controversial. And so I met quite a few cool acts.
So what inspires you to create magic, and say, where does your inspiration come from for creating a piece of magic or a whole show?
My inspiration comes from life, the things that I see and experience around me, things that I'd like people around me or the people I meet to experience. So when we say magic is the feeling of astonishment, it's actually a feeling of wowness, amazement. That's what magic is. It's what makes you feel amazing. But it's also storytelling. It's a piece of art. The art of magic is storytelling. It's telling people stories. And I think good stories are ones about life, things that people can relate to. It may not be things people have come across. So you may be educating people in a story that they've never come across, or inspiring them through your life experiences. And within that storytelling, that's when I weave in moment of astonishment. So you want people to take people on this journey. So it's just an art form like that. And so to answer your question more directly, my influences come from my surroundings and the life and my experiences.
So you mentioned audience reaction there. What's your favourite sort of reaction to a trick you've ever done?
I like look of just astonishment, just like a blank pause, and then I like it to go into a warm, smiley kind of. That's my personal favorite, smiley kind of reaction. That's what I like seeing. So I love performing for kids. I love performing for everyone, really, because they have this like, whoa, I've just seen something amazing, and it turns into this warm kind of like smiley happiness.
Yeah.
That's what we do magic for, to give people those moments and make people feel good about things and believe in the impossible. So my favorite reactions is actually that. I also like the actions where people just like, oh my God, like, no, run out of room. And, they just cannot believe what they've just seen. So I take all reactions, but that's probably my favorite.
Sort of the opposite to that. Does magic ever go wrong? Your tricks, they ever go wrong?
Absolutely. They go wrong because it's a live form of entertainment, and there's the level of sometimes a level of jeopardy, risk. It's a skill based art, so it can go wrong when you're doing anything that involves a skill, taking cards, stealing cards, or relying on the audience to react. It can go wrong all the time. And what you do is just acknowledge it. It's entertainment. It's not the end of the world. I mean, sometimes when it goes wrong, it can be the end of the world. But a lot of the time, it's not the end of the world, and it's just part and parcel of life. And you roll your sleeves up and go again.
Yeah. Do you do any tricks that are dangerous, or you could actually get injured from doing?
I do a number of tricks that can be considered dangerous. In fact, I do a backflip, catch playing card. It's a bit dangerous if you slip and land on your head. There's one stunt I do in the show, my most recent show, called it's called a smash and grab or Russian roulette type stunt. It involves a metal spike that's wooden blocks. Spikes. There's like one metal spike. So 4 wooden blocks or 5 wooden blocks. Each block has a hole drilled inside, and each block is the same size and weight as each other. And you have 5 paper bags, and the blocks go separately into the 5 paper bags, but one of them has a spike that's standing upright. When the bag's closed, they all look and feel the same. When you mix them up, the idea is, why it's a Russian roulette type of stunt, is to slam down all of the bags. The one is left, and hopefully that one that's left, the one that contains the spike.
Yeah.
If it doesn't contain the spike, then you may lose your hand or you have a serious injury. And as you asked me, what as magic, does it always go wrong? That stunt has actually gone wrong.
Yeah. And the nail's gone through your hand.
It's gone. Yeah. I've got a little.
Oh yeah. So what do you do there? I assume you can't keep performing when you've got like a nail in your hand.
Well, when this happened to me, it was actually, I was lucky it was in rehearsal, where I stopped performing and the ambulance came to my house, and it was a challenge. I was in hospital. I was bandaged on my hand, luckily because I didn't hit a bone or an important nerve.
Yeah.
I was back up and running after about a month or so.
Yeah, so that's very lucky there. What do your family think of you doing like these dangerous tricks, or your friends? Or
family love it actually. Family are very supportive. They've seen the journey. My missus, my son, they love it. Part of it, my show.
Yeah.
My friends, again, they love it as well. They encourage me to come to my shows. Always bamboozled. In general, it's been great. I mean, my dad, who passed away sadly, he wasn't best fan of his children being entertained in his performance. He wanted us to go down a more academic route, and so he wasn't always the greatest fan. But my mum loves it, so I'm all good with that.
Yeah. So I read on your website that you like to give back to the community quite a lot, giving workshops and talks. What inspired you to do that rather than just be a magician?
I think for me, giving back is very, very important, because we are all community, and we all have to build for, our generation, the next generation, the future generations, and it's our responsibility to, build the world and our surroundings into a better place, and just bring positivity. So I love that, because I was inspired by Mr. Weeks. He gave me and mentored me and encouraged me. So I think it's cool to inspire others as well.
So have you had any, I don't really know how to phrase this question, but experiences with your workshops, your talks, that have sort of made you realise that it's worth doing? Or someone you've met at one of these workshops that you think, they're going to be really successful?
I've seen um, seeing their magic journey. When I used to give workshops as a dancer, I also saw performers' journey, and that's very, very fulfilling to see someone take whatever you're doing, your knowledge, and then use that, but then grow and expand on that. And some people have become really successful in the world of dance, some in magic as well. And that for me is very, very fulfilling.
So this is probably a question I should have asked at the start, to be fair, but where does your name Magical Bones come from?
Bones was my nickname as a dancer. That was the nickname I was given. Every e-boy or breakdancer has a nickname, pure street name. Bones is mine because I hit hard. I hit hard to the bone. I'm quite a slim guy anyway. And Magical coined when I became a professional magician. Started incorporating magic into the dancing and stuff. That's where the name Magical Bones came from.
Are you in the magic circle?
I am in the magic circle.
You are in the magic circle.
I'm a member of the magic circle. I even have, see if I can show my old. We all have a members badge and pass, and I have my pass here. The magic circle.
Oh yeah.
This is what you get when you join the club.
So I have no idea what that is. So what is that, and what does it involve?
This is only for members. The members have this card amongst themselves.
Yeah.
And you can see. And this means that when you go to the club, you show your pass.
It's just a club, magic circle.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like a club, yeah.
So
it's a club for magicians to share ideas and secrets. You might call it like Hogwarts.
Yeah.
It's a bit like that, yeah.
Yeah. So who else is sort of in the club? Is there anyone I'd know?
Darren Brown, David Blaine, Dynamo, many famous performers. I mean, there's lots of people we have, like in the UK.
Yeah.
Across the globe, we have like 1,500 members.
Okay, so quite a lot. Do you ever collaborate with them or do shows with them?
I've done shows with some members, yeah. I've been in shows with Ben Hart, is a member of the Magic Circle. Did a show with him, Josephine Lee, Richard Jones, quite a few members of the Magic Circle that I've collaborated with. But it's mainly like a club for magicians to share ideas amongst ourselves. So,
do you have a dream or a vision, or you might have already accomplished your dream, but is there somewhere you want to reach, or somewhere you've already reached?
I still have many dreams. I want to bigger shows, arena tours would be great. Let's do bigger illusions. Bigger TV series would be great. A travelogue type of magic show. I've done one before. I've done a few before, but something that's a bit more edgy. And a film. Love to make a film.
Yeah, would
that be? I still have some goals to achieve.
Yeah, is that a film about magic or just a film in general? So is that something you're going to write or just start?
Yeah, that's something I want to do in the future. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, cool. So I was reading a website again about your show Black Magic, which celebrates Black culture and diversity. It's a pretty similar question to the one I asked before about the workshops. But what inspired you to create that show and to present that to your audience?
I think it was just about explore. The show Black Magic is really an interesting one because it's about exploring. It means many things to me. One, I'm Black, so that's the most simplest of meaning why it relates to me. Two, it's because Black magic is usually seen as a negative. If you look through the Google or Wikipedia or dictionary, magic is sort of has a negative connotation attached to it. It has religious kind of people always relate that to religious things, So I wanted to explore that. I wanted to explore the differences between term black magic and also, for example, the way people perceive it, and magic as an art form, that the things that we understand as a form of entertainment, and sort of just explore those two kind of ideas and see what is it? What is black magic? What do people think black magic is? And what do I think it is? And tell people some history as well. So through entertainment. So it's really just an exploration and just many things. So anyway, for me, it's been nice doing that show because I've been able to educate people on some history. One of the things I talk about is Henry Box Brown, who was a former slave that escaped from Richmond, Virginia, by mailing himself in a wooden crate in Richmond, Virginia, all the way to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where slavery was abolished. He then became a big advocate for the abolitionist movement, but he was a fugitive, so he traveled to the UK and became a magician. This is in the 1800s. Became a magician as a black magician in the UK. He traveled with an anti-slavery magic show. And I think that was a fantastic achievement and also an amazing piece of history that most people don't know. And the fact that he was a black magician and one of the first probably in the UK ever, I think that's also interesting. So black magic is about sharing stories and celebrating culture, essentially.
Are there any more magicians that you look up to?
Yeah, tons. I like David Blaine. He's someone I really look up to. Someone that inspired me when I was a kid. Watching David Blaine was mind-blowing. Darren Brown, even though Darren Brown's not considered a magician, he is a magician to many magicians or many people. Penn and Teller, there's some Vegas magicians. They inspire me. And David Copperfield, the granddaddy of all magic. He inspired. I know, the late Paul Daniels as well. So there's a few.
Yeah. Have you ever experienced any difficulty when, I don't know, growing your career or trying to bring a show onto a stage or a show into a TV show? And just a bit about those, if there are any.
Yeah. You always come through adversity in anything that you're trying to create, especially in the arts, in the creative world. It's always difficult because, you come across when you're a magician, professional one, it's your business.
Yeah.
Self-made. So you have difficulties sometimes you might have in promoting yourself. You might be a fantastic magician, but not the best marketeer. So there's different skill sets that you have to learn as a professional that become challenging, which is not even just within your own art. And then there's obviously your art is also challenging because, you are essentially trying new ideas all the time in magic. You're always playing around with ideas, trying new things. And sometimes those things work, sometimes they don't. And that becomes a challenging, but going through that journey is what's fulfilling, especially when you come through the other end and it's like, yay.
Yeah. So I think that probably is just about everything, apart from what is happening with you in the future. Are you going on tour again? Have you got more TV shows coming or anything you want to mention?
I'm working on a special, my own stage special TV show. And hopefully off the back of that, there'll be more stuff on TV I want to do, more appearances. And the next couple of years, I want to do a big tour in 2025. Yeah. So
cool.
The immediate goals.
So where can people find out about
that? My website, www.magicalbones.com.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
And yeah, thanks.
Great.